You just look at me. You just look at me. Hello and welcome to Biz Buzz with Bruno, presented by Mads Theater. We are very excited to have two representatives from the Bartell Theater with us today, Michelle Dayton and Josh Epstein. Thank you for coming on this glorious Memorial Day weekend.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So, Michelle, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit about your background and who you are, where you came from, what your hopes and desires are.
Sure thing. I'm a Madison native.
Yay!
Not many Bartell people are in Madison natives. I grew up in the northeast side, went to DeForest High School. I was lucky enough when I was in middle school, my neighbor was cast in a CTM show, and I got to work backstage, and that was my first real taste of theater.
Were those in the Nancy Thoreau days?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. She was a taskmaster.
Oh, indeed. Oh, indeed.
And then I did theater in high school under Jan Williams. Some people might know.
Sure.
She was in CTM too.
Yes. Yep.
And then I went to university at UW Green Bay and studied theater there with Jeff Entwistle and Lou Erdman. And I moved back to Madison, family reasons, and kind of lost theater for a while. And then Strollers was having their big anniversary season where they were redoing shows they had done, and they were doing my favorite show, Prelude to a Kiss. And I sent them an email going, do you need any help with this? You know, light board, backstage. Like, we need a props person. I'm like, okay, I'll do props. And I've been stuck at the Bartell doing props ever since.
Once they hook you in.
And I've done other roles too, stage managing. Scott Elbert Bennett trusted me to be an assistant director on a couple of his shows, and so yeah, I'm just.
So tell us about Baskerville. This is the project you're working on now, right?
So Steve Knoll approached me about doing a fundraiser for the Bartell. He had another Ken Ludwig work in mind, but I was reading this Baskerville, and I said, you know, everybody's doing the one you want. Let's look at this one. And, you know, if you need me to do props or something, and he read it and he's like, no, I think you should direct this one with me. And so we read it, and he did propose it to the Bartell, and the board said, yeah, let's do this. And I love fast-paced, quirky, campy shows. I had directed The Mystery of Irma Vep 2 seasons before, so this is right in my wheelhouse of being funny and putting a man in a dress.
So, speaking of which, tell us about the premise of this, because people know the Hounds of the Baskerville, which is kind of supposedly what this is loosely based on.
Yeah,
but tell us what Baskerville is.
Baskerville is the story told faster and with fewer cast. So the original script has 5 actors playing all the characters, about 40 characters. Because this is a fundraiser and I like to do some fun moments with stagehands, I have 9 people in my cast. So I broke down some of the parts to include 2 main roles, and then I added 2 stagehands who do have some lines and some important character work in there. So everybody's acting, but the stagehands have to do a little more heavy lifting, literally.
And no, so does this include all the PTCs companies, or was it open to anybody in general to come and participate in that show?
Yeah, we are not just one PTC. This is a Bartell produced show. So we're looking for assistance from all the PTCs to help with rental space and props and set pieces, and I don't think anyone has gone touched.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's been a real collaborative work, and Steve has helped build a really good production team with people across all the PTCs, and I've worked with most of them. Maddie, our sound designer, is the first time working with her, but she's great. So we're all doing really well, and we are biting at the chomp to get into the theater and open in 2 weeks.
So it's 2 weeks from Friday?
From yesterday, Friday.
Yesterday. Excellent. So that leads us into talking about Mr. Epstein.
Hello, Michael.
Hello. We met many, many, many moons ago.
We did. Yeah, the first time you and I talked would have been in the spring of 2009, as I was getting ready to play Mitchell in the Strollers production of Little Dog Laughed.
That was such a great show.
I'm glad you think so. I remember we did not get the greatest reviews, but we had a lot of fun.
I was never a reviewer. I just have told people to go and see it.
No, we had a tremendous amount of fun doing that show. I made lifelong friendships out of that cast, and it was my first introduction to the Bartell. And I spent the next probably 6-7 years doing around one show a year at the Bartell, and briefly was on the Strollers board before left to go really work in telecommunications full-time at a high level. Ran around Kansas and California building out fiber networks before I got into nonprofit work at the Hollywood American Legion. Which took me to building out member programs and figuring out the fun world of event rentals and dealing with the egos of some of the craziest creative people in town.
Hooray for Hollywood.
Hooray for Hollywood. And then, moving back here to Madison, really to raise a family here, and then discovering that there was this opportunity at the Bartell. Every time that I have come back to Madison for whatever reason, family weddings, that we just wanted to hit the farmer's market because we were living down in Chicago and wanted to get better cheese, or, being here for business, I've had to walk past the building and, gladiator style, kind of, brush my fingers along the stone, because it is a singular sort of place. I've done a lot of work with a lot of different community theaters around the country, and there really is nowhere like the Bartell in terms of the diversity of talent that comes in, the different types of stories that are told across the different participating theater companies, and really the amount of passion that the people who participate there bring to their work and the amount of love that they have for the space itself.
And you start your new position as managing director on Tuesday.
I do. I start on Tuesday. I was announced along with our 2026-2027 season just this last week. So as of Tuesday, I will be touring the facility and picking up slack like a girl with a short skirt and a long jacket. And I'm really excited that Noises Off is closing as I come in, so we'll get a chance to see them off right as Baskerville is going to be coming in to do our this amazing benefit for the Bartell, because we have a lot that we want to do. There's a lot that needs fixing. There's a lot that needs tinkering with, none of which is the work being done by the participating theater companies. Is all to do with making sure that the building itself is as well prepared and well equipped as possible to support that amazing work.
And that's great, because that's exactly what the Bartell at this point needs. Having done countless amounts of shows there over my years in Madison, and going through many transitions of like who's in charge of it and what the boards are and what the PTCs are and what's going on. It's been a roller coaster ride. And when the highs are there, the highs are wonderful. But then, you get those times when it's like, isn't anybody doing anything about this? And can't we get this done? And how come this is not there? And where's the stage door?
Well, I'm just happy we survived the pandemic.
Well, and that's true. That's very true. I mean, I always say about that. That was, the one thing, not the one thing, but the biggest thing that I appreciate about Channel 3 was that they kept me on to talk about how this affected high schools and community theater and professional theater, because everybody just shut down. And everybody was so freaked out, and how everybody kind of came together and made the transition to doing video. It's like these are people that didn't have a lot of video expertise, like Brett, who I adore.
Brett, you're doing great.
Yeah. And I felt so badly for all the high school kids because here were all these juniors and seniors. They're going to do their high school musical. And it was like, sorry.
Yeah, I was helping with props for Edgewood High School, and they did not get to open their show.
Sound of Music, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but then fast forward, they actually did the show years later. But yeah, and I was really happy to watch how teachers and how students adapted to that and learned a new skill, because acting for the camera is completely different than acting on stage.
That is totally true, but one of the things that I also think it's come at is a cost in terms of how these kids understand relating with each other and having real human conversations with each other. I have two older kids from my first young, dumb marriage, one of whom was a high school sophomore going through the pandemic and really passionate about theater. That 2 years of losing out on that educational opportunity completely hampered their ability to perform at the level that they ought to have been performing at for having been a passionate participant for as long as they were, particularly in direct personal relations. And I saw this too. I won't name the show because the kids that did it have gotten much better since then, but went and saw a show at the University of Southern California, one of their BFA musical theater, I think it was the sophomore show. And the kids were all talking around each other. None of them knew how to actually lock in, as we're trying to do right now, right? And sharing an emotional experience with each other. And I think you see that in the quality of work that is out there in a lot of these newer programs that these kids are going into. And I think that the one place that you're going to find the corrective answer for that is in more live theater, where these kids need to get that experience. They need to smell it. They need to taste it. They need to know what it's like to only get one take to get this right. And the Bartell is supposed to be that space for this community to constantly be honing its chops and be getting better at just talking to each other, being with each other. And so one of the cool opportunities that I have in front of me is to create more opportunities like what we're doing with Baskerville, where it's not different PTCs competing with each other for space or acclaim or audiences or actors or technicians, but these things where we all just say, we want to make something cool. How about we all come together and make something cool that we can all enjoy? And the only thing that it has in common is that we made it and we do it here.
Absolutely. Now, are you a native Madisonian as well?
I am not. I moved here to figure out what was next after finishing my time at USC the first go round.
So you're from the West Coast originally?
Originally, yes. I am an all-American nomad. I was born in Northern California. I had lived in 5 states by the time I was 4 years old. I've spent time in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee.
I'm sorry.
I know. I've been all over old Dixie and understand, that there's some great art being made down there, but a lot of it is being stolen from people, and a lot of the opportunities are being stolen from people. And one of the things that I love about Madison is that this is a place where everybody gets to make their art. You get to make the kinds of theater that you want to make. You get to perform the kinds of shows that you want to perform. One piece of advice that I shared with one of the young folks that I met at the season launch event is, if you can't find anybody to give you work to do, go do it yourself. Make your own shows. And I want us to be the kind of space that can welcome those opportunities when people have an idea, be able to say, we will find a space to squeeze you in. We will find 2 nights that we were dark so that your idea can take shape and come to life on this stage. Last thing I ever want is to have nothing to do with the theater. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but I don't expect it to ever be, really.
And that's the great thing about Madison too, is there's so many choices.
Yeah.
I mean, we have an overabundance of theater companies and people that cross between the companies, from professional down to community theater to amateur, even the high school productions that I've seen over the years astonish me. I mean, these kids are like, I've seen professional shows at the Overture, which pale in comparison to some of the high school productions.
I have watched from a distance, and shouts to Paul Millish, who's finishing up his time at East. Just some of the production videos that I've seen coming out of the work that he's done there, and he'd been there 18 years closing out. And so, I mean, that's a huge loss. I don't know if they're leaving town. I hope they're not, because I look forward to getting to see more work. And I look forward to seeing who takes over that program.
Yeah, exactly.
Because East has been a feeder for, God, even professional television and film. Brad Whitford, great Madison East alum, who brings a ton of resources and notoriety to that program, and serves as a great feeder for some of the awesome work being done around town.
Yeah, and they say, and that spoke to you too. It's like if you can't find something that fits your particular dream, it's like, so go out and do it.
Yeah,
and that's how I started. That's how we started Whoop-De-Doo Productions.
Exactly.
That's how I started doing a podcast. That's how I started doing things. It's like, I feel there's a need for something to happen, and I've gone to all the other places that have done traditional things, and I find there's a need because nobody's doing interactive, theater companies. Nobody's doing, musicals in strange places. Then now you have all these great companies that are doing the pieces because they just started their own. Megan Randolph started things. People, you know what? I want to do things that other people aren't doing. And you have to have that desire to think, okay, Madison is a great place to do it because people are willing to take that shot at supporting it, and to take that shot at knowing that there is, that there's this huge amount of talent.
There was a great D&D live show that went into, I believe, the Orpheum, and they sold out all 3 nights. I know that there are a ton of particularly the younger millennial and Gen Z participants in Madison Theater who are avid gamers and would love to see something homegrown like that. We may or may not be working on something like that at the Bartell. So I think that there's so much creative energy in this town. And the biggest challenge that we have is just finding more and better ways to open the doors and let them come in and play. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do in Baskerville. I love collabs no matter when and how they happen, and like that sort of cross-pollination of props from over here and sets from over here.
Our actors, we have some veterans and we have some very new faces, and you're going to love the new faces.
Great. I love that.
I've been so impressed with how they've worked. So
I cannot wait.
And our tickets are already on sale?
They are on sale. Come and get them.
At the Bartell?
Yes.
Bartell
Theater,
box office?
Opening June 5th, 6th, matinee 7th, 11th, 12th, and matinee on the 13th.
There we go.
Excellent. And is it are there different prices, or is it one price, general admission for all of it?
I think it's general admission.
The general admission ticket.
I'm an artist. I don't know about ticket prices.
But if you really, but also
go on the website and check it out, and you'll see everything. You can buy tickets there. You can see how much tickets cost. You can make sure you know what time it is.
BartellTheater.org is the website, and if you're not a computer savvy person, or you just really want to find an excuse to come in and talk to me, just come see us. See me. Starting Tuesday, we're going to be open for business during the regular business hours of the day, and would love for you to come in, have a cup of coffee, see the space, maybe shout a couple lines or two at the walls, and see if they come back at you.
So now, is Baskerville, is that the last of the the shows for this season?
Yes.
Yeah. Then I know that Savoyage is going in August.
Stage
Cues.
Is happening this weekend and next weekend.
Yes.
So they're the official last PTC show, and then there's this benefit show.
And I think it's a great way to bridge the 2 seasons. We're coming, finishing out the 25-26 season, and then, doing this great collab as we really go into a season that, as I was telling you during the pre-show, I think has a lot of great connective thematic tissue throughout it. I know that there was a lot of work done by the different PTCs to not try and be in any way same, but to find ways to dovetail into and out of each other in terms of what they were talking about. There's some really beautiful, dark, twisty explorations of what it means to tell your own story, how others can try and influence how you tell your story and make you into something that you are not, and the ways in which we navigate those antagonists and those obstacles and the tools that we use. I think that there's some really beautiful stuff about the courses that are open to us as human beings, whether we choose love or hate, whether we choose violence or embrace, in terms of how we get past the obstacles that afflict us. That really creates this lovely, very challenging emotional thread that goes through the season. But I really feel like, in a world where hopefully somebody like yourself comes and sees everything that we do, you will really feel like you've been taken on a journey from start to finish. That we will hopefully find a really cool way to culminate, just like we're doing this year with Baskerville.
Mm-hmm. So, Michelle, is there a particular PTC? Are you on the board of any of them?
I'm currently not on any boards. The last board I was on was Strollers before they had their transition to Madison Public Theater. I got us through the pandemic, made sure we were paying some bills, and then my job had a shift, so I had to let that go. So I am currently a free agent.
You're gun for hire. I like that.
But I'm a little busy this fall, so they'll have to grab me for next January.
Oh, wow, next January. Wow, okay. That'll be the whole new year then.
Exactly.
The year of Michelle, 2027. Get her now. Book her now.
Book her now.
Excellent. Wonderful. I'm thank you so much for stopping by today on this.
Thank you so much for having us. The walk over here was amazing.
See, now you're welcome to the neighborhood. You're right.
Exactly.
You're a West Sider now. I love that.
And I drove from the east side, so it was
you came
lovely fun.
Well, next time we see each other, we'll meet in the middle at the Bartell.
Or the firehouse.
Or at the
There you
firehouse.
go. There you go.
We got things to talk about. I had a great walk through there with Kendra the other day.
Excellent.
More
Excellent.
cool news to come there.
Cool. Excellent. That was my one of my original homes. Was I was in high school doing shows
We'll
at
talk
MTV.
after, and I'll tell you some of the cool stuff that Kendra and I got into.
Oh, secret time. Love that. Well, thank you for tuning in today. This has always been Showbiz Buzz with me, brought to you by Mads Theater. Thank you. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Josh. Go to the Bartell, buy a ticket, support local theater, and have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.